Hello, I'm Paul Peterson. Adult illiteracy is one of the most economically and socially crippling problems facing our city and our nation today. On today's program, we will look at programs offered in the city of Los Angeles that are designed to help people who lack literacy skills, including senior citizens. Please stay tuned for Aging in LA. Welcome to Aging in LA. Did you know that in the United States, the estimated annual cost of low literacy skills in the form of longer hospital stays, emergency room visits, increased doctor visits, and increased medication is $73 billion, billion with a B, and that 2 million native English speakers in California alone are functionally illiterate? According to the American Medical Association, 46% of American adults cannot understand the label on their prescription medicines. And the United States ranks 49th among the 156 United Nations member countries who measure their literacy rate. Today we will look at what the Los Angeles Library and the Los Angeles Unified School District are doing to combat this important problem. Joining us, Sheila Weisberg from the Los Angeles Public Library, and Kit Bell of the Los Angeles Unified School District. Welcome to you both. Thank you so much for coming. This is so important, literacy, that we used to take for granted. Sheila, tell me what the library is doing, particularly for our seniors in their literacy programs.
Well, the Adult Literacy Program has been in operation since 1984. Mm-hmm. It is a free program offered to anyone 16 years and older, and with the help of volunteer tutors working one-on-one with the students, they help improve basic literacy skills. It's for people with the lowest levels of literacy who speak and understand some English.
I see. Well, what a challenge, because your relationship with your tutor is important, accessibility. Thank goodness we have libraries all over the city.
Yes, we do. And we have coordinators working at 17 of the branch libraries, but in just about every branch library of the 71 throughout the city, we have students and tutors.
Outstanding.
Together.
And Kit, the Los Angeles Unified School District probably has the most diverse language, different languages than any district in the world.
Yes, I believe we have over 90 languages.
Oh, gee, man, Christmas, Now that's a challenge, and yet the district has stepped up to the plate with the English as second language classes for our seniors and adult learners.
Yes, they really have. We serve about 180 to 190,000 students a year just in ESL.
Oh, let me repeat that, 180 to 190,000 people.
Yes.
Wow, and that's the same every year, right?
Just about every year. Sometimes it's even more than that.
Wow. Well, how did the district... Well, how did you get roped into this? I mean, I know adults are always saying to their children, okay, you've got to go to school, but how do you make it easy for adults to come to school?
You know, we're located all over the LA area. That's
Yes.
one great advantage that we have. And we have about 1,500 sites,
Wow.
34 major adult schools, but really if someone gets out and walks or takes a short bus ride, they're going to be at one of our schools. So
Right.
we've made it very accessible and really very inexpensive. In fact, it's free.
Well, and that's the great feature, because it reduces those excuses that people might use. Now, Sheila, how do you combat the sort of personal embarrassment many people have about their low literacy skills, if they have those skills at all?
Well, it is a difficulty because oftentimes people who come in to see us tell us this is the first time they've ever admitted to anyone else that their skills are not what they feel they should be. But first of all, we always observe confidentiality, and nobody knows anything about people coming in to visit us.
Sure.
And if they're looking for help, we're here to help them. and everyone is very encouraging. One of the things we teach in the tutor training is a sensitivity to people who have done what anyone else has done, raised a family, worked, contributed to the community, but they just don't have two of the basic skills.
Well, I would think, and Kit, I'm sure you see this, especially if you can get an older woman who maybe has already raised her family, you're really not just helping that person, but the whole family benefits from an adult acquiring better language skills.
And it's the family and it's also the community. It's really, everyone benefits if we can do that.
There's so much information out there. I can't imagine my life not being able to read because, in fact, I got my start as an actor because I did have good reading skills. So what are some of the benefits of being able to increase your literacy skills?
Well, one of the things that you mentioned right away was the medical literacy. Really, that's a huge piece right there, because if people cannot access the medical system, they're in terrible shape there. But they can also help their children.
Yes.
And their grandchildren, and that's very big, very important. They can just be in the community and know what's happening there. You can't imagine if you were going down the street and you couldn't even read the signs, how that would limit you in what you could do.
Well, having traveled to a lot of foreign countries, that I actually know how that feels, and it's not a good feeling.
It's very isolating.
Well, also, there is an economic issue here. I'm going to set aside the cost for a moment. A person can truly, dramatically affect their income potential by increasing their skills, right?
Absolutely, and all the studies done on it have proven that there is a tie-in with socioeconomics and literacy.
Sure. Of course. And it isn't like the old days when a person at, say, age 30, 35, who's maybe had to acknowledge their lack of these skills is suddenly put in a class with kindergarten kids. It's not like that anymore, is it, Kit?
Oh, no. These classes are really geared to adults. And they're going to learn adult skills. The teachers are trained to teach adults. They are sensitive to those needs. And one of the wonderful things about our classes is that they're intergenerational. So we'll have younger people in the class, older people in the class too. And that makes it fun for everyone. Really, going to school is great fun and it builds self-esteem. When people are learning, they feel much better about themselves.
Absolutely. Now, as we've discussed, the Los Angeles Public Library maintains 15 literacy centers through which it offers resources and programs free of charge to anyone who needs them. We recently visited the center at the Koreatown branch where we met Amit Mehta, a literacy coordinator who was conducting an interview to match a client to a tutor.
Why do you want to improve your reading and writing right now?
I think I could get a better job. And I find trouble, like, ordering things, like at the drugstore, and understanding. I get a prescription and I can't read what the good things and bad things are about it.
That can definitely be a problem. And the great thing is when you get your tutor, you'll be able to work specifically on, we won't just make you work on books, but you can bring in your medicine bottles and show them to the tutor and go over reading those too, and the tutor will be able to help you with a lot of practical things like that.
Good.
So it'll be really good.
Good.
It's going to help you.
Yeah, the other thing, my kids, they all went to high school.
The largest center is the Carolyn and Henry E. Singleton Adult Literacy Center, where we looked in on a class of students studying writing.
How do I pronounce it? Stope. But that's not how you pronounce it. You pronounce it stop. So you need the double P to change it from a long sound to a short sound. So the double P is for the pronunciation. That's why we do it.
Repeat. Say work. No, I'm not. I just want you to repeat so you can hear the difference. Say work. And say walk. Walk. It sounds very similar. Okay, let's everybody say it again. Say work. Walk. Walk. You hear the difference?
Yeah.
Work. Walk. One is an ah sound. Yeah. You walk to work, exactly. You walk to work. That's a great way to use it.
Well, and it's obviously apparent that there is some cultural sensitivity that needs to be employed here as well.
Yes.
Wait, do the tutors get that kind of training as well?
Yes, they do. The training that we give them only takes 7 hours. We offer it once a month at different branches of the library. And as I mentioned to you before, a lot of it is sensitivity training. So we show them how to use our materials and how to work with our people.
Well, learning those library skills, I can remember the Dewey Decimal System, for goodness sakes. I'm old school. But now you are up to speed. You're part of the computer world.
Oh, we are. We even have many of our literacy programs are on computer. They can be accessed at home or at the library.
Right. Now, what about mobility issues? Do we have the ability to help people get to the facilities? I mean, you said short walk and a bus ride, but if you can't read, you can't understand a bus schedule.
That's true. That's true. And getting to the location, I think the best thing is, first of all, to call our number or have someone call for you. We do have a number to call.
Yes, indeed. And we'll put it up on the screen here so
Right.
people can write that down.
But they do need to get to our locations. We don't offer bus service, but I think you would need to ask a family member perhaps to help.
I see. Well, I'm thinking for some of our seniors, we do have transportation facilities available, and that should be part of, especially if they're coming in their senior years.
That's right.
To improve their skills, because it's very important. Los Angeles is, well, we're not unique, but our problems with transportation are just magnified by the size of this city. Now, I was bragging about our Central Library downtown. I think it's one of the great libraries I've ever been to, and it's beautiful.
It is, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I encourage people who come in for the first time to take a docent tour and just look around and see what we have to offer.
Absolutely, and the children's room there is wonderful. And you mentioned intergenerational. I actually got to see in the flesh, there was Grandma working with her reading skills with the grandchild sitting on her lap. What a beautiful place to go.
It is. I mean, you can imagine how that must feel to the grandmother after she's learned to read, that she can read to her child.
Absolutely.
Grandchild. How
Because
wonderful.
I think people do understand it's important, but for many of our seniors, they've had to make a living, and they had a family to raise, and some of this they sacrificed, frankly. But the classes are held in the evening, correct?
Evening and daytimes. A lot of our seniors come out during the day.
Well,
And that makes it more
doesn't surprise
accessible
me.
for them. Yes, we have a lot of daytime classes, and most of our seniors show up then.
Well.
We've served, I think, about 12,000 seniors a year
Wow.
in our programs.
Well, and of course what you hope is that they have a successful experience and then start sharing that with their community.
Yes.
You know, 5 million adults in California, that's approximately 22% of the state's population, speak a language other than English in their home. The Los Angeles Unified School District offers English as a second language to adults throughout the Los Angeles area. Let's take a look at one of those classes. Oh, I love seeing this. You know, now, what center is this?
This is the Bimini Center in Koreatown.
Right.
And most of these are older Koreans who are learning to read and write in English. Many of them are educated, of course, in Korean.
Sure.
So they're just coming into a new alphabet and a new language. And they do very well in this situation, very well.
Well, it mirrors my hometown, being Gardena. It's a largely Asian population, and we see these classes going on all the time in our senior centers and in the schools, and it's great to see. And obviously it helps if you're literate in your home language, so to speak, because a person who acquires literacy skills understands its importance. So much of our life is based on the past. And where do you find the past? In history books.
That's very true. But people who come to us often come for diverse reasons.
What do you mean diverse?
Well, a younger person may come in because they're just starting their working career and they want to be able to make a nice living. An older person may come to us and say, I want to sit on the front porch and read the newspaper every morning.
Yeah.
So people do have different reasons for coming in. But whatever their reason, if they have a goal, we work toward their particular goal. Each person is treated as an individual. And it's wonderful that you have the classroom situation. We have the one-on-one tutoring. And that makes a difference as well.
When you have a one-on-one session, are they also, are the people who come to you help to understand how to use the library and where an area of interest, for example, is located and
Well,
what reading
they're
level?
usually given a tour of the branch where they are. One of the very first things they do when they meet with their tutor is they're encouraged to get a library card.
Oh, yes. Got mine in my wallet all the time.
Well, I'm glad I signed you up then.
Me too.
No, so they are encouraged to use the library. They're told about children's programming that we may have in the library. And libraries nowadays are really community centers,
Yes.
aren't they? They have people
Yeah.
coming out to speak, all kinds of interesting things going on. We try to make the students aware of that.
Yeah, well, your lecture series downtown is just phenomenal.
Oh, yes.
It's, I mean, the thing, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm remembering that wonderful writer who was a longshoreman, Eric Hoffer. This man, self-taught, but his resource was the library because he understood that when you can read, nothing else really matters because you can, in fact, educate yourself. That's got to be a great thing to help transmit to even a senior well into their 70s, say.
Really, once you learn how to read, the world opens up to you.
Yeah, it does.
And that's the
Yeah.
gift.
And of course, what I love about the library and the school programs too is that people seem to understand, because all of us who do read take this for granted. If you have an area of interest, you can jump into as deep a water as you want. There's something out there for you.
There really is.
Yeah.
There really is.
Now tell me about the intergenerational programs. If you have people who have acquired new language skills, do you find that they kind of stick with the program to share the good news, so to speak?
Well, we hope that they do that. We encourage people to do that. Oftentimes, we do have many students who did not have English as their first language. And they're here now, they're living here, they want to be part of our community, and they want to speak the language as
Yeah.
well. We encourage them to share this with anybody at maybe their religious organization or
Right.
any community organizations they belong to. And we go out, our coordinators don't sit there and wait. Our community, our coordinators go out into the community, and during the last month we had a special push just going to senior centers
Oh.
for the city
That's
to
wonderful.
sign up people.
Well, and I don't want to minimize the importance of the printed word on a page. You know, as the author of 16 books, that's important to me. But the fact is, literacy often involves being computer literate and understanding how to use some of our new tools. Now, are the people enrolled in your program, Kit, are they given some assistance there as well?
Yes, we have computer labs in almost every school. So students often spend part of one evening a week or part of one day a week in the computer lab, learning those basic skills,
Right.
even if it's just to email. I mean,
Yeah.
you can imagine how wonderful it is if all of a sudden you can send an email back to your country.
Oh, of course.
Or go online and read your local newspaper.
Or know how to download the photo and to follow
yes.
instructions. Some things that literate people have taken for granted but are really challenging. Now, what about like keyboard skills? I mean, that's what a great way to learn the alphabet, frankly.
Well, we teach that as well. We have computer literacy courses that actually start with computer programs that teach keyboarding skills.
Wow.
So you can do that as well if you'd like.
That's so important.
There's so much.
Yeah, there really is.
There really
now,
is.
I mentioned earlier to you that my mother-in-law at 91 her visual acuity is reduced. So the books on tape are just fantastic.
Aren't they wonderful?
Yeah.
What a wonderful resource for
Yes.
people.
Yeah, it really is. And
Or for those of us who may on occasion get stuck in traffic on our freeways.
yes, an alternative to talk radio. No, I certainly understand that. I know I became involved with that because, well, first of all, I appreciate the fact that some gifted and talented performers are reading these texts, and they make it real. It's like radio all over again, you know, theater of the mind.
It is wonderful. We have in California through the State Library a contest every year. It's called Writer to Writer. And new students in library programs throughout the state will read a book, an adult book written for adults, and send a letter to the writer.
Ah,
Whether it's someone from the past or
Right.
someone still living. And
And we writers like that. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we've got to take a
Oh, I'm
short
sorry.
break. When we return, we will continue our discussion of literacy in late life with a representative of Mayor Villaraigosa's office. Thanks to our guests in the first part of our program, Sheila Weisberg from the Los Angeles Public Library and Kit Bell of the Los Angeles Unified School District. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Need a recycling center? Call 311, the toll-free number for non-emergency services. 311, your one call to City Hall. Graffiti removal? Call 311, the toll-free number for non-emergency services. 311, your one call to City Hall.